You're watching Chopping It Up with Roger Cador and Perry White.
All right, we are back with more Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Cador and Perry White. Of course, I am Perry White. He is the man, the myth, the legend. He's Roger Cador. Looking bright today, Coach.
I supposed to.
Man, hope you guys had a great Labor Day weekend. That's why we're here on a Tuesday, normally Monday, but everybody had an opportunity to have that weekend to themselves. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It was week 1 of college football, a lot of football to watch. So if you were bored over the summer and you love football, that boredom is officially out of the window. Coach, you got a chance to sit down and watch some football this weekend?
I watched the LSU SC game. I thought were pretty interesting, and I really didn't get to see much of the other football games, but that game in particular I wanted to watch and see. Tell you what, you saw some pretty good athletes out there on the field.
Let me ask you, because I listened to Brian Kelly after that game, and he got a lot of criticism in terms of time management, leaving too much time on the clock for USC to find themselves to come back and win that game late in the fourth quarter. What's the difference when you look at baseball, just like football? In football, you try to close it out and leave less time for the other team. In baseball, how does that work when you have a team on the ropes and you're trying to close them out?
The beauty about baseball, there is no clock. This is the most beautiful thing. It eliminates a lot of room for criticism. Mm-hmm. It's because it's the pitcher against the hitter. That's really the one-on-one confrontation really comes into play there. Mm-hmm. And that don't always happen in the other sports. So, you can't get no help other than defense. If you hit the ball, God make a great play. But the pitcher, that's the only help. The hitter has no help. He's got to hit the ball. He's got to hit whatever that pitcher throws. But, that's the beauty of it. And, other than that, the sports are completely different.
Yeah, especially when you get to that 7th inning of baseball. That's when you typically see it get away from teams sometime because that pitching does come into effect and how deep that pitching depth is. For you, how did you manage that, especially when you went against bigger opponents with deeper depth when it came to that?
Well, it was different than when I played regular teams on our level. When you're playing high-level teams, you got your number one out there. You get as much out of him as you can. That second man who try to get you from the 7th to the 8th or the 8th to the 9th may not be as important in that particular role. You may have to change the rotation a little, so you can try and maybe get more out of your number one to get to the back end guy. And that's really how I used to try and work it. Fortunately, the games we won at the regional, in the NC2A regional, I had a complete game from a guy, Al Radcliffe, when we beat Cal State Fullerton. Mm-hmm. He was my reliever all year. Never started. We started him. And he did a Muhammad Ali. So you give me 2 runs, I'll win. We gave him 1 and he won. Mm-hmm. So he took it all the way in. And then the other thing with Jason Anderson, who used to be my assistant also, Jason probably didn't know he was going to start that particular game, and I started him. And he gave me 7 innings. And now the rotation situation changed. Did I go to my bullpen? No, I went to my pen. I went to the bullpen and got us one of my game 3 starter. Timo, we call him. He's from Houston, Texas. Can't even think of his name. I had nicknames, so I remember people by nickname Perry.
Yeah. Because I'm PJ.
Yeah, Terrell Moore, I guess is his name. And he came in and he closed the game for me. And the beautiful thing he did, he was not an overpowering guy. He was a finesse guy. And boy, we got runners on first and second, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning, 2 strikes, 3-2 to count, and I let my catcher call the sign. Keon Thompson called it, and Timo delivered for him. called the 3-2 slider or curveball. And that thing floated in there so beautiful. When I tell you it was beautiful, it's never gonna get any more beautiful than that. That thing just split the plate. And the kid took it and the umpire did his job.
Got him out, punched him out.
Punched him out. That's how we won my second game in the NC2A regional. So it happened quite different than the way we did it the first time. The first time a complete game from a guy who never started, and we shared it out with a reliever who never relieved. So it goes to show you, baseball has so many ways you can do the job, but it also goes on gut feelings. You see, you can't take out gut feeling from a coach. That's why veteran coaches who are successful, it ain't all the time the players, they're going on gut feeling.
And I know you was talking about gut feeling alone because now you see the game transitioning to analytics.
Yeah.
And you said that analytics can't take away that heart and that gut feeling.
Dusty Baker and I talked a lot. In the last couple of years he managed, he was frustrated because they were trying to take away his strength. The one long suit he had that he knew, and everybody else in baseball knew, that he understood people, he got along with people, they loved him. And he went on gut feelings with a lot of things. And he did. And that's why they won. And that was a game he would call me, said, man, I had a tough night. They won the game, but he said, man, these people, they own me. They just want me. They don't care about winning. Just follow analytic. And he said he wasn't going to do it, and he didn't do it. And that's what I loved about him. And that's what I taught all of my assistant coaches who went out scouted, going gut feeling. There are certain things you see, them people sitting in the office, they're not seeing that, they're going on stats. Stats alone don't tell the whole story. I mean, they give you some insight and, information, but it's the gut feeling you have about somebody. And that's what you got to go with.
Let me ask, because in the game of football, right, you have a quarterback and he's going to be the leader of your offense. And you typically find your guy most likely is going to be a linebacker on the defensive side that commands the defense. But when you have in baseball, you have multiple guys in terms of the pitcher. The pitcher pretty much starts with him and works his way out, back catch and everything else. When you have so many guys who at any given time are going to be on that mound, what are you looking for out of a pitcher or pitchers in particular for game situations or just recruiting those guys?
Well, most of the pitchers I got, I didn't recruit them as pitchers. I recruited them as outfielders. But again, this is where a lot of people, the gut instinct in me, say, hey, you can convert this guy from an outfielder to a pitcher. That's what I did with most of the guys who pitched for me.
And is that because outfielders typically with the strong arm to get the ball in field?
Well, you look at a lot of things. You look at how he's throwing, because they had stronger arms, but not extremely strong arms.
Yeah.
I just looked at release point, how they release the ball. I look at the body in motion. You got me? I looked at the body and how it was working from the outfield, and I said, this will work on the mound with some work. And I tell you, I had good assistant coaches who understood what we were trying to do, and they followed suit. So we made it work, and but that's the thing. I see what happens to a lot of kids happening nowadays. They only let them play one position, and that's limiting them. You got me? Because here were guys I found in high school playing the outfield, convert them into pitching, and a lot of them got signed, drafted. So I could think about 4 or 5 of them got drafted. So it was, it was a thing of beauty. Other coaches used to try to use that against me in recruiting. He's going to turn you into a pitcher. Don't go there. It was beautiful. And that's, I tell you what, I look at it as really a compliment that they were afraid that I was going to take something and make something else out of it that they weren't willing to do. You understand what I'm saying? They're telling the kid, don't go, you're going to do this to you. I only gonna do this, and that might not be his best situation. You got me? Because you got to be able to hit if you're gonna play outfield. That's where your offense comes from. Outfield, third base, first base. You got four offensive positions, to be honest with you. Left, right, first, third. There you go.
Talk to me and to everybody out there, the importance of that back catcher. He's giving the signals, and he has to catch that ball and make plays all the way around. He has the whole field in his advantage sight, how important that back catcher position is.
Boy, I ain't heard that word back catcher. That's your old time. That's old time, PJ.
But that's what I know it as. I'm old time, I guess, in the sense of it.
I bet you go to young kids and talk to them about back catcher, they won't know what you're talking about. But the catcher, as you mentioned, is the commander. He's in charge. He's got everything in his eyesight he can see. That's why he's so critical as your leader, because he can see, he knows what the pitcher strengths and weaknesses are. And if he's overpowering, he's got to move his players in position where the hitter is going to hit the ball later. If he's a soft throw, they're going to hit the ball earlier, so you move them accordingly. The game is not that difficult. That analytic thing just makes it more complicated. Somebody went in and convinced somebody of some stuff that I don't want to say on radio. Convince them. If he's a hard throw, they're going to be late. If he's a soft throw, what they going to be? Early. You think that have changed over the 200 years they've been playing baseball?
It's been that long?
Well, it's been playing since 18-something. I'm thinking it's over 200 years. But my point is, those kind of things doesn't change. And you just have to stay with it and understand. I mean, I laugh at it. Dustin and I really have laughed about this analytic thing. And some people are just getting sick and tired of it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. But now, it's like anything else. It's taken over. And they got a lot of Harvard and Yale guys in there running things. So it's not going to, it's not going to change. And the people who buy these teams are Harvard and Yale grad with the money. You got me? So they're going to hire people that they believe in. And so they're taking over. Listen, I'm happy what I do with it. Major League Baseball doesn't require me to have analytics. I go in there, I do what I do, and everybody's happy, including me.
Let's get ready to take a break, and you guys stay tuned. We'll be back with more Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Cador and Perry White, all right?
Smart Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge because BTR is so close and convenient, they're always one step ahead, rather than dead on their feet. So, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. Some Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge. Some don't. The ones that do know BTR is all about being closer, more convenient, with non-stops and short hops to anywhere their business takes them. They also know not flying BTR means more traffic, longer lines, and wasted time. So if it's about going from driveway to runway with a lot less highway, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
Have a passion? We've got the place. Gear up for where the rubber meets the mud, or stir up memories of a lifetime. Reach new heights. Gravitate towards something out of this world. Even travel back in time. You might like a little drama in your life, or get in touch with your inner nature lover. Release some pent-up energy while you're at it. There's plenty to do beyond the swing sets. BRAC, we're more than a playground.
With over 60 years of combined experience, Kathy Sherburne and Anna Barnett bring a wealth of knowledge and excitement to the framing industry. Keeping strong to the Louisiana culture, Acadian Frame and Art has numerous local artists and sports team memorabilia for their customers to choose from. Whether you're creating a gallery-like setting in your office or simply looking for some fun art for your kids' playroom, Acadian Frame and Art is your one-stop picture framing spot. Call 225-927-6129 or go to www.acadianframe.com.
Get the memoir from the legendary baseball coach from Southern University, Roger Cador, Against All Odds. Roger refused to let his past dictate his future by rising to legendary college baseball status. An inspiring story of tenacity, faith, and hope. Against All Odds chronicles Coach Cador's determination to reach higher, to want more, and to dig deeper to find the courage to chase his dreams. Against All Odds. Get yours today by Cador & Cador Publishing. You are now watching Choppin' It Up with Roger Cador and Perry White.
All right, we are back from Paying the Bills More, Chopping Up with Coach Roger Cador and Perry White. I'm Perry White. He's Roger Cador. You know, Coach, before we get ready to continue to keep this show going, you know, we got to give a shout out to one of our proud sponsors, Coca-Cola, man. Talk about your relationship with Coke over the years.
Well, it goes back close to 20, 30 years. And it's been a long-standing relationship. From the starting of them, when I got them to put my first scoreboard up, that's a long time ago. And they were very happy to do it for me. And from that relationship, it has lived on so we could do what we're doing today. And I know the relationship has spread to all of Southern Athletic. They built the turf, put the turf on the field for Southern. So they've done a whole lot of other things since that relationship started. A lot of the guys have passed and gone. But you know, I remember one relationship I had with the president of Coca-Cola. He was getting off a plane in the airport here in Baton Rouge, and I was getting on, and he said, "Hey, Coach," he said, "I need you, man. I need to talk to you. Come by my office. We need to talk." He says, "Because we need a better relationship with Southern." And he said, "You're the one that can champion that for us because of your relationship in the community. It's no white, it's no black. You're just in the community." And that meant a lot because there were people who recognized that I wasn't working just for the blacks. I was working for the whole community. Sort of what Kamala Harris is saying, I'm for all of America. And that's what I've been all my life for everybody, even though a lot of bad things were done to me and my family, and they put my daddy through a lot of stuff. But my daddy never once uttered one word about hate the white man for what he did. That passed on to me, and I used it. I utilized it to get a lot of things done. That would have never been done because the attitude wasn't there to work with the community to get it done.
And that community partnership has continued to grow into this day. So we want to thank one of our sponsors, Coca-Cola, for all that they do for the show and the partnership that you've had over the countless years with them. As we continue to move forward, Coach, did any grilling on Labor Day?
No, I didn't. But Jonathan went out to Whole Food, and I don't have a food sponsor, do I? No, he went up and picked up something, and that's really what I ate. I hadn't been able to eat a whole lot, so I was able to eat that, you know.
And I got to ask you, I mean, because a lot of people ask me, man, in terms of everything with health and everything, how you doing these days?
Really good. I mean, I've made tremendous progress. I'm able to do everything I once did, except, you know, I'm working on my equilibrium, and things are getting better.
Well, it's good, you know, because I told you you're looking real vibrant today. I said, man, you must have went home and got you some rest or something over this weekend.
I did rest. I did. You know, and, you know, I get to do, you know, the thing that really it's been very therapeutic for me is a relationship I have with MLB. I get to do just enough that keeps me going, you know. And the days that I'm not doing something, I may be on a Zoom call with the people in the commissioner's office about ideas or where we going next. And those are the kind of stuff that are very good for me because it's baseball related. It's something I know. And I respect Major League Baseball because they know I have something to offer as it relates to HBCU baseball. You know, and so that's a good thing.
How big is that relationship for you, and how did that kind of work out between you and Major League Baseball and really after retirement, where you was able to really focus a lot more into that relationship with them?
Yeah, you know, it's a twofold thing. You know, I do some, mainly with the younger kids coming out of high school, getting ready to college. I talk, they bring me in to talk with them. And we give them an idea, we talk about things that are important. You know, it's more than baseball. I don't talk any baseball with them, even though I talk about things that is going to impact their lives and help them to make it, to get to be a baseball player, you got me? Because there's so many things now is in the equation. Guns, violence, family violence. You know, over the weekend I heard a 4-year-old kid got killed where the daddy left him in the house with a gun and he killed himself. So we talk about a lot of that kind of stuff. Prevention. You know, prevention is better than trying to find a cure. If you can prevent something, it eliminates trying to find a cure. So we talk a lot about prevention and mental illness. We've been able to inculcate mental illness into what we're doing with the high school kids. Major League Baseball realized we have a lot of mental illness going on in families. So what you think is going to do is going to pass along to the kids, you got me? So we talk a lot about that. Things that people on the outside have no clue we're doing. When we inside there, then we're doing a lot of stuff. So they better not ever say Major League Baseball is not trying to help. Now, are they helping 100% of the people? No organization is able to do that, okay? But the people who are fortunate to play baseball and work hard at it and get good, they get to benefit from the programs that we have in place.
All right, well, let's get ready to take another break, and we'll come back and get ready to close this thing out. You guys will stay tuned. More Chop It Up with Coach Roger Cador and Perry White.
Smart Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge because BTR is so close and convenient, they're always one step ahead, rather than dead on their feet. So, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. Some Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge. Some don't. The ones that do know BTR is all about being closer, more convenient, with non-stops and short hops to anywhere their business takes them. They also know not flying BTR means more traffic, longer lines, and wasted time. So if it's about going from driveway to runway with a lot less highway, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
Have a passion? We've got the place. Gear up for where the rubber meets the mud, or stir up memories of a lifetime. Reach new heights. Gravitate towards something out of this world. Even travel back in time. You might like a little drama in your life, or get in touch with your inner nature lover. Release some pent-up energy while you're at it. There's plenty to do beyond the swing sets. BRAC, we're more than a playground.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
With over 60 years of combined experience, Kathy Sherburne and Anna Barnett bring a wealth of knowledge and excitement to the framing industry. Keeping strong to the Louisiana culture, Acadian Frame and Art has numerous local artists and sports team memorabilia for their customers to choose from. Whether you're creating a gallery-like setting in your office or simply looking for some fun art for your kids' playroom, Acadian Frame and Art is your one-stop picture framing spot. Call 225-927-6129 or go to www.acadianframe.com.
Get the memoir from the legendary baseball coach from Southern University, Roger Cador, Against All Odds. Roger refused to let his past dictate his future by rising to legendary college baseball status. An inspiring story of tenacity, faith, and hope. Against All Odds chronicles Coach Cador's determination to reach higher, to want more, and to dig deeper to find the courage to chase his dreams. Against All Odds. Get yours today by Cador & Cador Publishing. You are now watching Chopping It Up with Roger Cador and Perry White.
All right, we're back with more Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Cador and Perry White. I'm Perry White. He's the man, the myth, the legend, as I call him, Roger Cador. Coach, as we get ready to close things out, man, and we get into football season, it's the fall, so of course that heat's starting to go down. We start to cool off a little bit, so outdoor activities won't be such a bad idea as we move forward. But for you, man, what is your fall looking like? What's upcoming on your calendar?
Well, my calendar is going to be pretty quiet. I will be traveling some out of the country, so it's not going to be much. But it's just a break in the schedule, to be honest with you.
Breaking the schedule. Are you looking forward? Will you be making it to some football games this year?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. Obviously, I may be doing something with tailgate. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not that big on the football, but I may come and tailgate with some people, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Some of my friends. And so I think I'll be doing that more than the game itself.
Yeah.
I remember, you know, when I was really into doing my, when I was really in the height of my coaching, I would attend Southern and LSU football games. Mm-hmm. And people often ask me, why would you go to LSU football games? I say, follow the money, baby. Follow the money. And that's why I sold most of my advertising and everything. I sold them at the LSU football game.
Yeah, you was working those press box.
I worked them. And people didn't understand. I had a job to do, and I couldn't wait on people criticizing me about what I was doing. Mm-hmm. Because I had a bunch of young people depending on me. That coach can deliver for us, you got me? Mm-hmm. So I made it happen. And I had a network. I would get to LSU, park in a certain place. They would pick me up, bring me to the football stadium, and at a certain time, pick me up and bring me back to my car. So it was really not work. Once you got in, I got inside that stadium, was nice and comfortable, you got me? So, and then I did my thing. Mm-hmm. So I say that to say that there may be somebody listening. You know, don't be afraid to fail, because you're going to fail more in life than succeed. Mm-hmm. You're going to be, and that's how you learn lessons, through failure. How's that kid going to learn that stove is hot unless he stick his finger on it? And it burned the hell out of him. Then he learned, I can't do that. It's hard. So my point is, I'm using an extreme example, but the point is you learn from your mistakes, and you have to make them to get better. And so I knew that too. I had an advantage because I learned it from a coach who talked about that. You're going to fail more than you're going to succeed. Don't worry about the failure. You'll be okay. You know, even though he never put those things into play, some people have great ideas and can't execute them. But where he put it in play, I executed it. Because he put that on the table and I grabbed it and ran with it. So I executed it.
I'm like the players back in the day. Give me a story, coach. I need a story. Pull one up. Give me a story.
That's a good one now. See, I'm a little out of condition, but
Give me a good one.
well, you know, I'm gonna tell you something. One that's really big is it has something to do with the mustard seed, the grain of mustard seed. And Jesus was sending his disciples out to go do the work. And obviously some of them lost their confidence. They became a little weak and his spirit was gone. And then Jesus talked with them and encouraged them and told them, he said, if you had the faith of a grain of mustard seed, you could talk to mountains and they'll move. You can talk to mountains and they'll move. If you only have the faith of a grain of mustard seed, well, how big is a grain of mustard seed? Extremely small. But he was only explaining, showing them. You don't need a whole lot of faith if it's in the right place. You got me? If you're putting it in the right place, have the faith of a grain of mustard seed. You could talk to the mountains and they move. And to me, I thought that was so huge. Because just imagine you talking to mountains and they move. That in itself sounds incredible. But it is something that I told my players, I mentioned it over and over again, because it had to become a part of their mental faculty, thinking, belief, that if I have the faith of a grain of mustard seed, I can accomplish a whole bunch of things. See, every day I wanted them to understand that, to feel it, and then to believe it, then have faith in it. You know, I knew we weren't going to move mountains by talking to them, but see, I don't want people to miss the point. The point was there were things in front of us that we could do. If we had the faith of a grain of mustard seed, we can take care of. And it usually was our opponent. And that's why we were able to compete against the higher level schools. My kids weren't afraid. They had confidence that whatever coach is saying, we believe we could do it. And it's simple as that. So I used a lot of Bible scriptures when I was talking to my players, because I knew one day they were going to become head of household, dads, husbands. And I want them to have that kind of confidence when they're encounter with an issue, a problem, some difficulties, that they could find something they could say to their kids or their wives, and it'll work, you know, and they can get through it. So those are the kind of things that I talked about, and it's a true story, because Jesus did say to his disciples, apostles, if you had the faith of a grain of mustard seed, just think about that, Perry. The faith of a grain of mustard seed, you can talk to mountain and move. I'm gonna bring up that point to illustrate how this thing really happened. One of my former coaches' son was very ill. They had done everything, over-medicated him, They had just, they all had almost put him to death, okay? good stroke happened. He found another doctor, an older doctor, said, take him off all of this. He'll be okay. Took him to New Orleans Hospital, and he got in the mail, in a little letter from his mama, a grain of mustard seed. A grain of mustard seed. And she said in it, if we have the faith of a grain of mustard seed, BJ is going to be okay. And I'll be there. After they took him off all that medicine, BJ came out fighting like you wouldn't believe it. And he's one of the most brilliant kids walking this earth right now. Brilliant. So it goes to show you, having the faith of a grain of mustard seed is so important if you believe in it. You see? So the coach had heard this story. He knew about it. When his mother sent that grain of mustard seed, he knew that he was in the right place. You got me? Mm-hmm. You know, so that's a true story. And it's one of the most compelling stories that I've told, because I've told a lot of them. And a lot of them came through. I told one to an older gentleman in Ruston, Louisiana this weekend about in 2003. We were going to play Southern Miss in the NCAA Regional. And we hadn't gotten the check. Chris could understand that. They knew we were going for 2 months, and the check wasn't ready. Mm-hmm. So finally, it gave me a chance to tell a story, to ad-lib. And I told a story about Muhammad Ali. What the hell Muhammad Ali has to do with us playing baseball? Nothing. So I told a story. I told him Muhammad Ali's story. Uh-huh. I told him the story, what happened. And when they got to Southern Miss, they said, they put us in a room, and there Muhammad Ali name pictures all over the wall in there. And they were asking before, when the hell coach was talking about with Muhammad Ali? Why would he? They hadn't. But they got in that room, Muhammad Ali picture was on that wall. And I told them about the ugly things that they had done to him after he won a gold medal for the United States. Couldn't eat in restaurants. They just treated him bad when he came back home. We get in that room, saw that, and they went off. Look at Muhammad Ali, look at Muhammad Ali. So I didn't know we were going to see Muhammad Ali in there. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. Well, the game starts, and the guy called the N-word to all of us, our chaperone. The guy the NCAA picked as the chaperone called us the N-word, and nobody tried to stop him, other than a few white parents who had kids on my team tried to fight him, and the NCAA and Southern Miss did nothing. But I looked at them, and I turned and I told my players in the dugout, we're not going to listen to it. We're not going to pay any attention. We're going to prove something here on the field. And we playing Southern Miss. And boy, we hit that ball all over the place. And we beat them. They were the 6th ranked team in the country at the time. The point I'm making is that my true stories, even though some of them came out of left field, they were there for a reason. Because again, the insight, you know, my daddy he had the opportunity. The system wasn't so racist and denied him so many opportunities. Was a brilliant man. He could see things. I couldn't understand it. He could see things. He would tell me, go do this, something over there, go do it. And it was there. A live thing was there. You know, live things don't stay in one place. But he said, go over there and go get this. He said, there's a rabbit over there, go. I mean, it's amazing. And I'm not talking about 50 yards. I'm talking about 200-300 yards. And the other thing, when there was issues on the phone with people, they always came to him he would solve problems. If there was a water issue, the water needed to get out of there, he would tell them what to do and the water would go another way. I mean, that kind of stuff. And I just think, and I look at the fireplace, he and I were the only 2 people in the house reading. We were reading. I read the paper whenever I got through, he read it. So those were great stories. I never told that one.
Well, man, look, I appreciate it, Coach, you sharing that knowledge and that history of how things work. You know, it may not make sense in the moment when you tell that story, but you never know. I call it applied knowledge. Sometimes it go over your head in that moment, but then you realize once you in that experience, in that position, then you can apply what you heard because now you're in a position to be able to put it there. I tell my son and my daughter that all the time about applied knowledge. It's a lot of things I talk to them about, and they're like, Dad, like they not catching in that moment.
Right, they're not going to.
And it's the same way, even like me growing up. My mother talking to me, telling me certain things, you know, and I'm being oblivious to it, but it's not until I'm in that situation to when I then be like, you know what? My mom was right about that.
Oh, sure.
You know?
And I tell you, you've done well with taking advantage of your situation because you're a hard worker. You're in the neurosurgeon. I like the fact that you all are young and y'all working in a profession that we don't have a lot of people like you all. Mm-hmm. And I think y'all gonna do well if you just stay the course as more opportunity comes down the road. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. And I appreciate you and the opportunity to sit here and have these conversations with you, man. It gives people an opportunity to see you beyond just the world of being a coach, that you actually who you are as the man. So let's get ready to wrap this thing up. Coach, you got anything for the people before we get out of here?
No, every time I move around, I run into people who say they're watching us and they're listening to us, PJ. So let's make sure you keep doing your job.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
All right.
I think they love you.
Oh, well, I hope they do, man. All right, everybody, let's get ready to get out of here. We'll catch you guys next week. Coach, as always, send us out. Catch y'all next week.
Get the memoir from the legendary baseball coach from Southern University, Roger Cador, Against All Odds. Roger refused to let his past dictate his future by rising to legendary college baseball status. An inspiring story of tenacity, faith, and hope.